Good afternoon. Welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana. My name is Aldo Moro. This afternoon, we have a very, very interesting conversation for you. It's a matter that came up a couple of weeks ago. It got a section of Ghanaians extremely unhappy and very angry as well, and had to do with government's move to regulate the prices of cement, because the same section of Ghanaians are complaining about the rising prices of cement. The government had to do something about it. So the trade minister went to parliament and presented an ally to sort of drive down or to stabilize the prices of this commodity. Now, the guys who are users of the commodity are saying that it's a good move, obviously, because the prices will come down and it would ultimately drive down the prices of the ultimate product. If, for instance, if it's a house that you're putting up, okay, a section of the public were excited about it. But then there are also those who are into the business of manufacturing this product who are saying that once you do this, you kill our business, okay? And so it became a back and forth. As we speak, our understanding is that the airline has been withdrawn due to some constitutional issues that came up in Parliament. But we'll get to a more recent update on where things stand as far as this airline is concerned. It's called the Ghana Authority Pricing, so Ghana Standards Authority Pricing of Cement Regulations. That's the name of the law that we're talking about. Now, this afternoon, we have a very interesting perspective that we'll be sharing with you with a man whose name needs no introduction. I'm talking about Mr. Joe Jackson, who's our guest on Good Afternoon Ghana. He has a very interesting perspective to share as far as this matter is concerned. Very in-depth research, very in-depth analysis for you to be able to tell whether indeed this is a bad move or is a good move. I will be right back.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
Prepare bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's here. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa. Ile hosing. Cal 360 did the work. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling when you Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone.
Lakwaha, and missing opportunity to be the luckiest. It's time to put some smile on your face. Still asking what luck means? At Luckiest, we believe it's more than just chance. It's joy waiting to happen.
Let's go.
Dial star 712 hash. Now password top tickets not as a group, individual and as a community. Now participating in the Luckiest from the 1st of July 2024. Grand draw near 30th November 2024. Luck is everywhere with the Luckiest. The Luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform and is not for persons below 18 years. Terms and conditions apply.
Ghana's Trade Minister, K.T. Hammond, recently proposed legislation to control the pricing of cement production in the country. This comes after the LI was laid in Parliament on Tuesday, July 9. The direction was the establishment of a 9-member committee to monitor and coordinate the local cement industry in accordance with the Manufacture of Cement Regulations, LI 2480. But during a stakeholder consultative forum on cement price and regulation, manufacturers laid bare their struggles and challenges in the sector.
For a clinker, which is our major cost, the cost of the vessel coming from Turkey to Ghana is as expensive as the cost to go through the Tema port in total. So, and that is mainly also in US dollar based. Today for a clinker, for example, we are having about 22 different levies which we are paying based on the price of cement, on the price of clinker, sorry. So all this is also somehow linked to the US dollar Ghana cedi's exchange rate.
The Chamber of Cement Manufacturers Association of Ghana described the laying of the legislative instruments on cement price regulations as unconstitutional.
If we actually come out to actually more or less say and condemn this act, it is based on the factual, that is concerns. We've sought legal opinions. We've dealt with legal gurus which have made it to see that the LI, which has been laid in Parliament and we're counting days for it to be what got passed, is unconstitutional because the basis of reference in the Parent Act of 2022-1078 it is not correct.
The Chamber bemoaned the lack of consultation in build-up to the drafting of the bill.
No, the interaction that we have, the relationship that we've built with the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and never did we ever have the opportunity to discuss the LI, that is legislative instrument, on pricing. And we are talking about the major stakeholders. And we're talking about cement pricing, the major stakeholders that you can count on in Ghana are the manufacturers. They produce the cement. Without the manufacturers, you can't get cement. So why do you talk about something relating with cement without the major stakeholders?
The current approach by government, the maintain, could lead to reduced production and shortages if government imposed prices did not cover production costs. The manufacturers threatened they might be forced to reduce production, which might affect construction projects.
This LI by the Trade Minister, the main object of the LI as contained in the paper is to promote competition within the cement industry. It is not to regulate pricing of cement. Government is not seeking to reintroduce price control as if we are a communist government. This government believes in free market enterprise, but free market enterprise must also be regulated and checked. When the matter came up for the laying of the LI, our colleagues raised a strong objection to the effect that we must subject the LI to a pre-laying, which suggestion we agreed. Now the pre-laying was done and a referral was made to the subsidiary legislation committee of Parliament. This committee is headed by Dr. Dominic Ayeni. He is the chair of the committee. Now, after their deliberations, they came out with a document, a report signed by the chair of the committee. The content of it, which I will share with the media, is to the effect that if the trade minister will take into consideration all the amendments, then they are not opposed to it. Now, true to his word, Honorable K.T. Hammond incorporated every single amendment proposed by the subsidiary legislation committee into the new LI before same was laid. In other words, the LI which was previously brought to Parliament was changed. So every amendment that was proposed by the minority was factored into the new LI. So the question is, why come the next day some members of the same minority coming to attack government? They are the same people who are complaining about the cost of living and the cost prices of foodstuffs and products in the country. So if government is taking steps to protect the consumer, the ordinary Ghanaian, the ordinary user of cement, why would the minority stand in the way of government?
There was a very interesting development in Parliament. Must have been on July 3, where the Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, challenged the legality or the constitutionality of the proposed legislation to regulate the pricing of cement in Ghana. He spoke on the floor and said that the legislation which has been proposed by the Minister for Trade and Industry, that's Governor Tahir Hammond, that's KT Hammond as we affectionately call him, is illegal, and that it is in contrast to what the Constitution states. That's according to the Ghana Standards Authority Act 2022. Now, he goes ahead to say that it says, I will test the matter in the Supreme Court. The Constitution in Article 11 provides that before a regulation, there must be a dependence on the Parent Act. He adds that, Mr. Speaker, Ghana cannot stoop so low that in a democratic country, liberal, where market forces must determine prices, we have a minister acting to regulate pricing in the name of the Republic. This is not to be contemplated by a government that believes in a property-owning democracy. You want to regulate pricing because you cannot control the exchange regime and the stability and strength of your city. Because of it, you want to regulate and dictate that this must be the selling rate of cement. Another argument he raises, the Ghana Standards Authority, your job is to ensure quality. Yeah, quality assurance. That's what your job is. Your job is not to be able to regulate pricing of the commodity, and here we're talking about cement. But there's a man here who, as I did indicate, is not, he's not unfamiliar to the media. And I'm talking about Mr. Joe Jackson, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance. He has a very interesting analysis he's going to make this afternoon on this matter. But first of all, I'd like to ask him, who is he speaking for, first of all? That's a fundamentally important question I need to ask him. Mr. Joe, good morning. I will call it Big J. Big J, how are you? It's always a pleasure seeing you. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, thank you very much for making time to join us.
And we are alive and healthy.
Absolutely. That's very important. Yes. And you're always looking hale and hearty. Even at your age, I don't know what you do. You may have to share secrets.
You know what we say in Akan?
Right.
If you have life,
yes,
you have everything.
Absolutely.
You have hope. So it's fantastic.
The dead man can't do anything.
No.
All right. So I need you to sit behind your screens and watch this. It's going to be explosive. Extremely, very, very exciting and a very riveting presentation that Mr. Joe Jackson has for you. But before you go to the screens and do your presentation, who are you speaking for? Is it a business community, ordinary Ghanaians, cement manufacturers? Have they paid you some money? Well, sorry about that. They paid you some money to come and do some PR, But I shouldn't be asking because we invited you over to talk about this. But who are you speaking for, the more serious note?
I'm speaking for the man and the street.
Yeah, but the man on the streets wants the prices go down, so they can afford rent.
And I'm going to show today to you, can explain to you that what they're trying to do is exactly at odds with what they say they want to achieve.
How? The minister has said, I want the prices to go down.
Go down.
Once there's competition, the competition is strong, it will drive down the prices.
Yes. First of all,
yes,
let's start from first principles.
Yes.
There are 11.
Yes.
My fingers plus one companies involved in importing, manufacturing cement locally. Don't talk about the smaller individual.
Okay. Right.
There's competition. Okay. And I will show you how much competition has actually benefited us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meaning that the prices could have been higher, but for the competitive nature
and I'm going to show numbers to prove it. Okay. And I'm going to challenge the powers that be, that they should tell me that my numbers are wrong.
Okay.
Listen, Let's start from this way. So, first of all, there's competition.
Okay.
Let nobody be confused. There are 11 companies. Okay. It's not like 1 or 2 people who are manipulating prices, going behind the scene, set up a cartel or anything.
So when KT talks about the fact that he wants to get the cartel, to prevent the cartel of manufacturers from exploiting the public, you're saying that's totally inaccurate?
How can that be? There are people who bring in cement, who import cement. So how can this cartel be? Okay. But let's go to what really matters.
Right.
And I'll show you that that cartel argument doesn't work.
Okay.
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 So, but let's start from this place.
Okay.
If you are a supplier of cement, and I am a consumer of cement,
or a user of cement.
A user of cement. And so the consumer of cement.
Okay, someone, yeah.
When somebody comes from outside and sets the price below what is profitable for you, what are you going to do? You produce less.
Absolutely. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's an economic and a business decision.
Business decision. The smaller importers will stop importing because they can't make money at that rate.
Yes.
Those who produce will have to rethink the process. That's one of the first effects. So what is going to happen? This attempt at price regulation is actually going to bring about shortages.
Tell me how.
It brings about shortages because the supply of cement will drop.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
The supply of cement will drop. So when because you want to produce less, I still want to buy what I'm buying at this price. So the supply of cement will drop. Because, hey, I can't afford it. And there's some unknown, some hand who's pressing me down, who says, I can't sell at this price.
But can't I also reduce the quality of my product
that's even worse.
In order to meet my overheads?
That is even worse. So number 1, shortages. Number 2, reduction in quality. Okay. Do we want reduction in quality in cement? Do we want houses to be collapsed?
Not at all.
So you realize, in fact, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The second thing that will happen is, if I have to sell at a fixed price, then I have to drop the quality so that I can make some small margins at that price.
Absolutely.
So what are we indirectly doing? Causing shortages? Reducing quality? Is that what you want to achieve?
Okay.
And the standards board, who's supposed to ensure quality, is actually making you're using the standards board as a vehicle. As a vehicle.
Yeah, or the poster boy.
To drive through a policy
that
will cause people to sit back and wonder, do I want to increase quality? That's what will happen.
So if I
and in the pricing, nobody has told us how they're going to judge the pricing. So it's an arbitrary board of people who are not necessarily economists.
Right.
Who are going to, you see, remember that even with the case of energy, which is a regulated product, there's the NPA, which is full of professionals and technical people.
Technocrats.
Then there's PURC.
Yes.
PRC economists, etc., who are looking at both sides of the coin. That's not what is happening here. The group of who in there, in that group is an economist. Who in there is a public utility. If you see cement is a utility.
Okay.
So that's the second thing. Then you know the third thing that's going to happen. Now, middlemen are going to be enjoying. If there's a shortage, then we're going to go to the bad old days of favoritism. If I can get a cheat to get 100 bags of cement, then I can put my margin on it to the end user who's still demanding some, so all you're doing is you are regulating factory gate prices and creating a black market where people who are favored will be able to get chips and get cement. Those of us who are not favored, you don't get it because there's a shortage. You're going to waste people's time because now you have to go early and queue for cement. So, all in all, it's shortages, poor quality, favoritism, waste of time. Why? And listen, let me tell you this. This is standard economics.
Absolutely.
These are the drawbacks why you have to be extremely careful before you put in price controls. That's not what's happening. If I want to go to the board and show you that there's competition.
Before you go to the board,
Yes.
So if I can't reduce if I can't do anything about the items that go into producing the product, i.e. reduce quality, as you said, or I can't also reduce my margins because it would hurt my business. So then perhaps the only option I have is to pack out.
Is this the signal you want to give those who have invested millions of dollars into this industry?
Right.
Critical.
Absolutely. So what do you have? Okay. First of all, what's the structure of this presentation? What are you going to show us on this presentation?
I'm
so
just
we
going
can
to show
follow
you two things.
Okay.
I'm going to show you first of all that in dollar terms,
Okay.
the price of cement has actually fallen.
In dollar terms.
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting, right?
Yes. Very.
And that will show you that instead of lambasting the manufacturers and the importers of cement, competition has actually driven the dollar price down. And that what they have been able to do is to keep the price same in dollar terms, since if I drop it.
Well, I can't wait. I want to see how you do that. Just in case you just joined us, I'm talking to Mr. Joe Jackson, who is the CEO of Dalex Capital.
Dalex Finance.
Dalex Finance, who's my guest on Good Afternoon Ghana today. He's here for a simple reason. His mission is to be able to prove and to make a point that the government's intention to regulate the prices of cement is a bad move, and that it will be counterproductive if government goes ahead with it. Now, as I did also indicate, fortunately, the bill has been withdrawn due to some constitutional issues that have been raised by the Member of Parliament for Tamale South. But I will also be speaking to Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, who is the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, and also a member of the Trades Committee, who will be talking to us about where we stand as far as this LI is concerned. He will be speaking to us shortly via phone. So just in case you have any question that you intend to ask as far as this is concerned, please send us a WhatsApp message to this number. Let me just advertise that. But it's going to be on your screen shortly. The number is 0244 262 314. 0244 262 314. Join the discussion via this number. I want to know what you think about it. Do you think that government's move to try and regulate prices because it wants to promote competition, it wants to, kick out some cartels who are exploiting Ghanaians? Today you wake up, cement prices is 105 cedis, is 106 cedis, 100 and whatever cedis. I'm sure, I don't even know the current price of cement today, but it must be around 100 and something Ghana cedis. And that's how government intends to address it. So people like Joe Jackson have a serious issues with the prescriptions that government is giving in dealing with this. I've just had a message from Mr. Kofi Kapito, is the Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, who would want to chip in something. And so at some point we'll speak to Kofi Kapito as well to tell us what he makes of this move. So, Mr. Jackson, so please go ahead with the presentation.
Okay, listen. I've charted the prices of cement since June 2022.
Right.
Right? At that time, it was about 60 cedis.
Right.
What was the exchange rate June 22? About 8 cedis.
Right.
What was the price per bag in dollars? Oh.
Right.
Okay. Price per bag in dollars, 7 cedis, $7.48.
Okay.
Fast forward June 2023, right? Price has risen by an astronomical 20% to 72 cedis, right? But the dollar has gone up to 11 cedis 33. So the price per bag is what? 6 cedis 36. You're seeing that the manufacturers have actually, and importers have kept the price in dollars dropping against an economy where the dollar is going up and there's inflation at crazy levels.
Yeah.
This was when inflation was around 50%. Fast forward June 2024, price goes up again. 12 cedis. 5 cedis 69. April, 5 cedis 65. May, $5.65. May 2024, $6.22. Today, the price we are fighting about, 108 cedis. What's the dollar price? $7.01. Still below the price in June 2022. What are we talking about? Where's the lack of competition? What is that? Actually, I dare say that what is happening is a populist move that will actually hit us bad and bring about, they will claim artificially that you kept the price of cement static, but you're going to create shortages, you're going to reduce quality, you're going to waste my time, and you're going to create a gray market where people will take chits and benefit.
Right.
That's not what we want to do. And the market is actually doing well. Maybe instead of lambasting the manufacturers and importers, you should be applauding them. Saying, you know what, guys, you've done well under the difficult circumstances that you are facing.
Because the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie. I want them to challenge these numbers and tell me that these numbers are a lie. Listen, let me tell you what the issue is. Look at the cost structure of cement. Start down. 77% of the cost structure is actually directly tied to imported items, clinker.
And they don't have any control over that.
They don't have any control over that. They buy it in dollars. These guys have done well. And think about it, even for the local elements, the 23%, look at what inflation has done to us. So really, if you want to fix the price of cement, go and stabilize the CD.
As simple as that.
Go and stabilize the CD. Stop these populist allies, etc., that won't bring me any benefit, that will cause me a shortage of cement sooner rather than later. Go and fix the price of your dollar. The worst part is this. Look at this. 20 plus taxes and charges that go into the public purse on clinker, adding to over 50% of the cost of clinker before you land it.
So even if the clinker was changed to, say, pozzolana, it won't make much of a difference. Because you're talking 70% to 22 about... okay. So clinker...
Let me come back here.
Yes.
Guys, listen.
Yes.
If the majority wants to help me, if the Minister of Trade wants to do me some favors, he should go to Parliament. Ask them to take the taxes off clinker. And then come back and say, I've taken the taxes off, and the people who are bringing it in haven't adjusted prices. Then we can have a conversation. This is a misguided, knee-jerk, bad policy that is bad for the man on the street. I'm trying to fix my wall. I bought a few bags of cement. I'm a cement consumer. This is bad policy. They're going to cause shortages. They're going to long-term reduce quality. You're going to make some people earn rent and income that they don't deserve just because they are favored. You're going to waste our time. No. So fix the price of the CD. Fix the price of the CD to the dollar. Remove your taxes, and then we can have a chat.
So what should be controlled is not the price of cement, but is the price of the CD as against the dollar.
Yes.
Because once you're able to deal with that, ultimately it would positively affect the prices of cement. That's the point you're making.
See, here's my point. We have real issues in this country.
Okay.
Real issues to deal with the stability of our currency.
That's true.
The volatility of our currency.
Right.
Real issues to deal with the stability of prices and the ever-increasing inflation, increasing prices that we have. Which, granted, they're trending in the right direction. Inflation has come down again, but still hasn't changed how much that our inflation is still in the low 20s.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And the 50% inflation that doubled the price hasn't changed. It's not like the price has now. You see, what we also forget is this. If today inflation is 50%, so it has doubled my prices along the line. Tomorrow, if you say it has come down to 30%, it doesn't mean that the old one has been reversed.
That's true.
It means that going forward, it will not be doubling. It will be going only at 30%.
So the prices are going to go up anyway, but at a slower pace.
At a slower pace.
That's all it means. But the prices will go up.
Will still go up.
Yeah.
Will go up. And you see, those and my point is that we have taken what is essentially an economic issue, and essentially an item that should be addressed by Ministry of Finance, by the Bank of Ghana, Ghana Revenue Authority, etc. And we are trying to play games and remember all this. You have to see it in context that this is an election year. I don't mind if you run your election year shenanigans, but don't do it where it hits me hard, where it hits me on cement, and where it's going to cause shortages, where it could possibly drive the quality down. And when the quality of cement goes down, you know what happens. See, when you do all these things, you're giving an incentive for people who do the construction to play games.
Right.
Then we'll come and put our hands on our head and say, yeah, go laps.
I get it. Now, that would have been useful for us to know the 20 plus taxes that are.
Oh, I have a list.
You have a list.
I can go through the list for you.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, listen.
Okay.
Import duties. It's 5% of CIF.
Okay.
Import VAT, 15% of CIF plus the import duty. So there's a build-up.
Okay.
Get fund, 2.5% of CIF plus the import duty.
Okay.
NHIL, 2.5% of CIF plus the import duty.
Okay.
Special import levy, 2% of CIF. ECOWAS levy, 0.5% of CIF. EXIM levy, 0.75% of CIF. So we go on and on.
Yeah.
Inspection fee, fumigation fee, EPA fee, AU levy, transport charge. We just go on and on and on.
Right. So when you hear a group like the the Real Estate Developers Association, who say that the Trade Minister's move or policy is a step in the right direction because it would help them to properly budget and execute projects without hitches. He said it's an exciting one for us, developers. It is an exciting one for us because we have to grapple with the cost of materials from a very short interval. He says, for instance, the last time cement price was increased in Ghana, it was just in May. It was increased by, and then as of this morning, we get a text message from the cement manufacturers that effective 1st of July, they're increasing it again by 12 cedis. So he said the truth of the matter is that if you are on a project and it takes you 24 months to develop, given the fact that cement contributes to about 70% of the building component, since the price of cement is increased, the price of the block is increased as well. The price of concrete is increased. The price of plastering materials are all increased because it is the same ingredients that affects them in terms of their components. So you realize that you get on a project from January. Before December, this project is already experiencing 30 to 45% increase in cost. Again, a bill of this nature will bring some sanity to the market, and that they support the position of the Honorable Minister, and with the backing of the industry would be able to have some conversation that will be equitable for all in the market. So, whereas you have raised...
respond to this.
Yes. So, these guys are happy about it.
I'll respond to this.
Yes, please do.
First time, it is short-term and misguided. And in a country where inflation went as high as 50% and is now coming down,
yes.
If you experience 30% increase in costs, why are you shocked? Hello?
I get it.
Can I rewind on this issue? In a country where we went up to 50% and have now been dropping, if you get a 30% increase in cost, why are you shocked? Why? Should you be insulated against the inflation that affects all of us?
Right.
And let's be careful. Real estate developers are not ordinary men in the street.
Okay.
They're not going to buy 5 bags here and 1 bag here and have a bag there. So maybe, just maybe, they will get away with it.
Okay.
The rest of us won't.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to the Honorable Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, who is the member of the Trade and Industry Committee of Parliament and also the member of Parliament for Tamale Central. He will give us an update on where we stand in the scheme of things as far as this ally is concerned. Are we going or we are coming? We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Ama, nansi mi general well-being enko ye krao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija.
Nansi me hu se mi nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu ni me into kwankwa. Oh you why? Enye mo ko. Give us GC mixture and any capsules. Aye num boom. En ho asem na mo kana. E boa emma ene meme nyina. Ne ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya, we be bwanku. Ama ne giant sa wo di sheli butu. Na wenyi nya na nim tisese ni oyi chokwa.
GC mixture and then a capsule.
A pin for a batter, one more menu for one and Quada when you feel to me.
Here is to the friends who took the chance with no regrets. Investors no more hating fortune. To the health workers who diagnosed blacks every move. And then to the hard guy who couldn't hold his emotions. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of joy. And now, here is to you. Your next big win is right here.
From 1st July 2024, dial *712# and Password tickets as a group individual to win in the community draw or the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with *712#.
NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
This ally by the trade minister, the main object of the ally as contained in the paper is to promote competition within the cement industry. It is not to regulate pricing of cement. Government is not seeking to reintroduce price control as if we are a communist government. This government believes in free market enterprise, but free market enterprise must also be regulated and checked. When the matter came up for the laying of the LI, our colleagues raised a strong objection to the effect that we must subject the LI to a pre-laying, which suggestion we agreed. Now the pre-laying was done, and a referral was made to the subsidiary legislation committee of Parliament. This committee is headed by Dr. Dominic Ayeni. He is the chair of the committee. Now, after their deliberations, they came out with a document, a report signed by the chair of the committee. The content of it, which I will share with the media, is to the effect that if the trade minister will take into consideration all the amendments, then they are not opposed to it. Now, true to his word, Honorable K.T. Amon incorporated every single amendment proposed by the subsidiary legislation committee into the new LI. before same was laid. In other words, the LI which was previously brought to Parliament was changed. So every amendment that was proposed by the minority was factored into the new LI. So the question is, why come the next day some members of the same minority coming to attack government? They are the same people who are complaining about the cost of living and the cost prices of foodstuffs and products in the country. So if government is taking steps to protect the consumer, the ordinary Ghanaian, the ordinary user of cement, why would the minority stand in the way of government?
Okay. All right, welcome back. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro Television. Just in case you just missed, in the last 30 minutes or so, we've had a very, very interesting and a very brilliant presentation by Mr. Joe Jackson, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance. He has made a case against any attempt by the government to enact a legislation that would be seeking to either whether stabilize or control or whatever that they want to do with the prices of cement. He said it's a bad move, it's counterproductive, and we will pay a huge price for it if we go ahead with this. But I also give you the latest update as of 2-3 weeks ago. What I heard was that the Member of Parliament for Tamale South, that the Honourable Haruna Idrisu, had actually raised some constitutional issues with the bill, and so the Trade Minister actually had to take the bill back to the drawing board to look at that. And then just on your screens, you heard Afenyo Marking giving us all the reasons to sort of support such a legislation. And Mr. Joe Jackson, after that presentation, I would have been sold, actually, that is a bad move, because we all, either you're renting or you're buying a house or you're using cement for one project or the other. It's a bad move, and the government must check it. And so it's 0244262314. I've received some of your messages already about, it's quite a number of them. Let me read them whilst we're waiting to speak to. Initially, we were supposed to speak to Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, but unfortunately, he's been caught up in a very serious meeting, and so he won't be able to join us. But in his place, we're going to be speaking to the Honourable Roxing Nelson Dafiamakwa, who is a Member of Parliament for South Dai. He will be speaking to us on this matter. He's a lawyer himself and would be able to bring us up to speed on what's happening currently in Parliament as far as that bill is concerned. Are they even expecting it? But as far as they're concerned, it's been jettisoned, it's been thrown out of the window. We don't know. We'll find out. It's 0244262314. So this one here says that price legislation would only resort to black market clientelism. And it says GOG must focus on fixing inflation and addressing the spike in exchange rate. Once you fix the fundamentals, everything else will be fine. You don't have to go fixing the prices of cement. Anyway, so that's Selim Daket's opinion on this matter. Thank you very much for that. The government is not serious. Why does he want to do that instead of reducing the taxes and the size of the government at the moment? And there's already hoarding of cement in some areas, just to increase it when there's a little shortage. And that's come from Simon from Tema, Newtown. This one said, explosive presentation by Mr. Joe Jackson. Any day, Mr. Joe Jackson. This has been an eye-opener. That's come from Persila Dia. This one from Suleiman, who says that, good afternoon, Moro. This is my first time watching the show. I like this man. I like the way he goes about with his presentation. I've never really understood this LI matter until I watched Good Afternoon Ghana today, even though I missed the beginning. Well, unfortunately, you did. But what I can promise you is that tomorrow at 2 p.m., this show will be repeated. So you have the opportunity to watch it again. Okay? That's the thing about Metro TV. We give you more than enough. Yeah? Others will give you half. We give you full. Yeah? You get to watch it again. So 2 p.m. tomorrow. 2 p.m. tomorrow. Tune in. 2 p.m. Yeah? I'll take this final one. This one says that Al Hassan Ibrahim says, good afternoon. Thank you very much for the presentation. I don't think government should go ahead with this. It's a bad move. We will pay a huge price for it, as Mr. Moro has said. So please dog it. It says dog it. Please dog it. It's very interesting. Anyway, so we'll be speaking to the Honourable Roxing Nelson Dafiamakwa, who is a Member of Parliament for South Dahi. He would be joining us shortly on the show so that we can he can give us some update on where we are as far as this is concerned. But, you know, I was asking you a question off air whilst we're waiting for the Honourable Member of Parliament. I was asking, I said, look, but I want to believe that KT Hammond is fully aware of this information you've just shared with us. I want to believe that, the others who are kicking against this, and I'm talking about cement manufacturers, are fully aware of all of this. But I've never really heard anybody make such a cogent and a very strong and forceful argument as you just made. Simplicity. You've simplified it. Why do you think is the disconnect? Why aren't these guys who are kicking against this simplify it and make all of us know that just when we thought that this is going to help us, apparently it's going to hurt us? You know, where do you think is the disconnect?
You see, Moro, first of all...
That's my first question. Secondly, why would KT Hammond want to go ahead with this even though he's aware of all of these? Or I'm assuming he's aware.
Two things.
Yes.
One, price controls we like it instinctively.
Okay.
Without going through the analysis,
right?
We like it. Prices will go up again. Hooray. Yeah. But that's short-sighted, right?
Okay.
And so I dare say that a lot of these people who are coming out in favor,
right,
are being short-sighted and just taking an instinctive liking to the idea that the prices will stabilize. Deeper analysis will show that it doesn't work, right? Then remember that just maybe people are even hoping that by the time the effect of the price control kicks in, they may even have walked away from the positions that they hold, but they will leave us with an ally that will be a problem. Because remember, the people who are pushing this won't be here with us 6 months from now. We're now in July. It's the 17th of July. 6 months from now, they won't be here.
Right.
They might not even be here to start to experience the pain and suffering that we are going through because of the... listen,
but that's short-sighted and selfish.
Thank you. It will give temporary relief, and just maybe that's why they're doing it.
Do you suspect that perhaps the minister is... What do you suspect is the ulterior motive? If there's any.
I'll be honest with you. I can't determine what goes in his head.
Right.
All I can do is come here, give you the numbers, show that in dollar terms this has stabilized, show that even if the Real Estate Association is claiming a 30% increment in cost, in the light of general inflation in this country, that's not outstanding.
Right.
But even more important, show that in dollar terms, the price has actually come down.
Interesting. All right, so let me read some of the other messages that have come through. I don't think that this government has good intentions. Is something in good intentions in store for us. They will take the exploitation to the next level if Ghanaians settle for this move. We say no. That's coming from Bondi Etu. That's coming from Bondi Etu from Koforidua. We're waiting to talk to the Honourable Roxin Nelson Dafiamapo. He's actually agreed to speak to us. We're calling him. He's actually on standby for us. And I'm sure that Josiah would get through to him so that we can speak to him as quickly as possible, because we don't have a lot of time. We actually have to just have about 4 minutes to wrap up on this. Now, so whilst we're waiting for this, now what we do know as a data minister, there are issues about the constitutionality or otherwise of it. I know that's not really your area. Does it surprise you that the real conversation right now is whether what the trade minister is doing is constitutional or not? It's got nothing to do with the counterproductive consequences that we're likely to incur.
Well, I have a point of view. I'm not a lawyer, but I have a point of view.
On that as well, yeah.
Yes. Remember that, strictly speaking, they're deriving the authority from a standards board point of view. Does the standard board have the right to legislate pricing or to put controls in place? You see, that's where I can see why it will be challenged in court.
Right.
See, because you're driving your power from the standards board. The standards board in my understanding, regulates quality and related issues, not pricing. Remember that the Standards Board is not the only regulator around. We regulate energy prices, and the technical work is done by the NPA. But it is PURC from a certain perspective of economics, a perspective of understanding pricing and energy pricing, that does put out the price for energy-related utilities in the country.
Right.
In the same vein, I'm asking, even if we wanted to do something like this, should it be from the perspective of the Standards Board?
Right.
I mean, one of the things that's been said is that manufacturers and traders are shortchanging the retailer.
Yeah.
If they're claiming 50 kilo bags and they're giving us less than 50 kilos, by all means check that. By all means check that. But don't check the price. Check the quality. Check the quantity. But not the price.
So Kojo Chumbwafo, who is the former chief executive, the former CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Authority, sends a message. It says, my short answer to your question. First, it says good program. He's actually commented. It says the short answer to your question is corruption. K.T. Hammond went to a ministry with little connection, so he needs something to co-opt before he leaves. I know I have worked in that ministry. I know because I've worked in that ministry. And it says, why isn't K.T. Hammond not interested in reducing the price of tomatoes, yam, and plantain, or indeed fuel? Today, fuel went up. Shouldn't he be interested in slowing down the depreciation of the city, which is the precursor to all our problems? Okay, so that's Kojo Chumbwafo, his message. In fact, the message is sent on this particular conversation. Unfortunately, we still haven't been able to reach the Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafiamapo, even though he was more than willing to join the conversation. I don't know, something is just not right, and so he's not answered his call yet. So we haven't been able to reach him yet. Let me put it that way. So I want to thank you very much. So in conclusion, what you're saying, I mean, what do you expect? What do you think should be the next line of action for these cement manufacturers who are kicking against this thing seriously? What would you advise that they do?
You see, when you go to the cement manufacturers, it's almost like there's a self-interest involved.
Okay.
I'm saying that we are consumers.
Yeah.
And this is not where we want to go. So as consumers should put out our voice, not the manufacturers. The manufacturers, you could then present them as if they were trying to make more margins and make more money, even though I don't agree because the dollar price has fallen. Right? But what about us consumers? Ask the man on the street. Those of us who buy cement and buy half a bag here, 5 bags here, 10 bags here, want to make some blocks.
Yeah.
Let us not be deceived.
Right.
This policy is not in our favor.
Right. Right. It's not good for us.
No.
So jettison it. Throw it away.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Jackson, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And, well, that's a very interesting presentation you made today. We've all learned something new today. Unfortunately, we couldn't speak to Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. We couldn't reach him, unfortunately, which is quite surprising. And also the Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafiamapo, who had also agreed to speak to us. We've been struggling to reach him. I'm sure that there must be a very good reason why we've not been able to reach them. But whatever it is, I'm sure that you've also learned something. Thanks for joining us on Good Afternoon, Ghana. My name is Awudu Moro, and I had Mr. Joe Jackson, who is the CEO of Dalex Finance. Thanks for watching Good Afternoon, Ghana. Bye-bye.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
The journey continues, but becoming that phenomenal lady doesn't happen in a day.
It takes courage and refusing to settle for less.
This season, on the PL show, it gets much more diverse,
engaging and impactful. This is the PL show.
We paint the perfect picture of pain, sleepless nights, hard work, and of course, the ultimate breathtaking view from the mountaintop. Success.
Successful ladies from all walks of life doing amazing things and positively effective change in their respective fields.
And as you know, we share all these with you, our ardent follower, to help you navigate that journey and also come out strong and phenomenal.
This is the PL Show.
It's brought to you by Kale Charcoal, Kale 360, and Kale Kicks Toothpaste.
Kale, happy smile.
The law is pertinent to every aspect of our lives, and so lawyers must not be the backup plan for the rainy day only.
Nothing received from a client should be put in a lawyer's personal account until such time that the money has actually been earned.
It is very dangerous to perpetuate the theory that it is narcotics that leads to crime increase.
The relevance of the law cuts across our business, social, and family transactions. Doubt this?
You can't borrow from somebody who's your client. That would lead to a conflict situation. And that's something that as a lawyer you must jealously guard when you are representing a client.
You have to register your Mohammedan marriage within 7 days?
Within a week of the celebration of the marriage.
So if you don't register it, it's not a valid marriage. Journey with our Law Express panel every week as we confirm the place of the law in our everyday transactions.
Under etiquette rules, a lawyer can terminate for non-payment of fees. So basically, if you don't pay your fees, a lawyer has a right to terminate your engagement.